Tuesday night dedication, putting in hours at the mic after a long day of work. Maybe not for you. You got started at like 11 o'clock this morning. I've been up since fucking 5:45, just trying to get it together.
Jeez.
Got off the ladder at 4 o'clock. Was on my way over here at 4:20.
You're the man.
You know.
Well, cheers, man.
Cheers, Alex.
Episode 2.
Hey, I like that you take action. I like that you do what you say and do what you want, and I'm excited to move this thing moving forward.
Shout out to everybody out there that listened to our first episode and keep following along.
We're going to get better. We're going to get smoother. For now, this is Ivory Tower and the Grunt. We're live, Alex Serta. Cheers, man.
Cheers, my man. We're back.
A lot of good feedback from episode 1. And now, here we are, episode 2, Ivory Tower and the Grunt.
IT and the G.
I'm Kevin Murphy, RJ Murphy Construction. That's Alex Serta. What company are you with, sir?
Sir. Keynote Custom Builders.
So give me what's your week looking like? What are you at? How many projects you got going? What are we doing?
Right now, I got one job that's in construction, but I got 3 jobs that we're pretty much going to start in about 2 weeks, beginning of June. Trying to kick a few off. So, yeah, it's busy right now. I'm doing a lot of the running around, getting permits, and getting all the vendors and the subs their walkthroughs and making sure everything's ready to go before we ink the final deal and push the thing forward. Usually I'll for sure try to get everything done before we finally sign that final contract. So a lot of the times I'm still unsigned in a sense of the overall construction job, really until like right before we're about to break ground.
Right before game time?
Yeah. I mean,
I
total
think that's
good faith effort.
The name of the game, I think.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're going to get burned with that. I've seen that at RJ. Just you think you have it in the bag, and you've gone through 40 meetings, or you know what I mean? Just like a full effort, and it doesn't pan out, and that's just the cost of doing business. You can't think of it like, oh, I just blew 80 hours. That's just that's what you do. And
I think it's just going back to the whole process. You know, you have leads, and you got to try to work them to the point where you can actually like convert the deal.
Right.
I think our topic today should be on sales, man.
Let's do it.
Sales is pretty big when it comes to any business, you know, and having a good sales process in place is crucial.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, unless you put in the work like RJ did, right? 30 years in the business where you have to slowly build your reputation. I mean, RJ swung the hammer, obviously straight out the gates.
Yeah, he was.
What's his backstory? I'm curious to know, man. I wish we could get him on here one day.
He's too big time for us. Man.
Oh,
he's on cable television these days.
Dude, when I saw that, dude, I was crying. I think I saw it on Facebook. Actually, I think it might have been like one of the sponsored ads or something for the tile place.
Yeah.
But dude, when I saw it, I paused it, dude. I was like, "Oh my god, dude, that's RJ!" And didn't I text you?
Yeah, for sure.
What did I say?
I forget what you said.
It's going Hollywood on us.
Oh yeah, he is going Hollywood on us. He's been going to that tile store, stone and ceramic, for the whole time, at least 25 years, maybe longer.
So, how old was your dad when he first started?
Oh, you're gonna make me do some math. He's been doing construction like 30 years. I guess he was in his mid 30s. He was bartending in like Redondo Beach at like the Black Angus and the Velvet Turtle and some of these weird bars. And he just started like hobby woodworking. And then some of his regulars asked him to build him some chests, and then it was some cabinets, and then it was he found this great designer to work with. His name was Bruce, and he was doing like 3D drawings of his projects before any of this shit was even around. He was an art major, and he found his way into construction. This guy, Bruce.
You were doing some woodwork yourself here recently, weren't you? Did you?
I do a lot of woodwork.
Taking the same footpath as whole RJ.
Yeah,
right
man.
now.
You got to learn the basics. You got to learn what each tool does. You got to learn just
the grunt.
Yeah,
here it is.
The grunt, man. Absolutely.
Give it to me, man. I think that's totally the whole opposite end of, you know, running up through the sales side or the business side. It's being able to, wear the tool bag, right?
Well, here's the thing. You and I both have a sales background. I quit the solar sales, and then I could have transitioned right back into just selling deals. But if this is a lifelong pursuit, I really want to have the fundamentals down, and so I can really talk shit and tell the guy that I hire in 20 years, like, you don't even get it, man.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's not to say that one way is better than the other. Obviously, you're doing mighty fine, and you haven't put the bags on a single day because you sit with your feet up. And the Ivory.
Dude. Are you serious? Come on, dude. I've already gone through a couple of pair of boots.
Oh, yeah?
So trust me, man.
Wow. So he started with one other guy. He kind of went off on his own after 5 years of working with that stud Bruce. And I guess he went to real estate agents and said, hey, if you have any escrow repairs, I'd love to do them. He just got in the phone book, old school, and just started cold calling real estate agents. Somebody gave him a small repair in Huntington Harbor. And then that small repair turned into a remodel. And
Wow.
so he remodeled it once. That customer, who the first one he got from his cold calling real estate agents, has accounted for over 25% of his total volume in 30 years in his career. He built 2 houses from the ground up for him on the same corner.
No way.
He's built, I guess by default, his daughter's couple of 3 houses.
Yeah.
So that one lead and that one cold call to that one agent has led to 25% of his net sales in 30 years. I mean, that is the whole dream of cold calling, right? You're going to make that one connection that's going to lead to your ultimate success. And so after he did that remodel, he remodeled that house, and then they asked him for a couple of years. They said, are you ready to build a mansion from the ground up? And he told them no for a couple of years. He just wasn't ready.
Nice. He knew when to say no.
I mean, it's so mind-boggling how much goes into that. And if you don't have the experience in it, like we talked about last time, there is no substitute for time. So, he just needed a little bit more time. He hired this guy, Greg Ludwig. He lived in isolation in New Mexico, built his own house, trenched his own trenches for plumbing and electrical, like hundreds and hundreds of yards, like 60-something-year-old guy that just didn't, I don't know. So he'd come back into civilization every couple of years and get money and then run back away.
No way.
But my dad didn't realize how much this guy knew. At first he was just swinging a hammer, going through the motions, didn't do anything. My dad was like, hey, we're going to be building this house. And then he just turned on the jets.
No way.
He had everything planned out weeks in advance of exactly who was going to be there at what time.
Wow.
He would roll his own cigarettes in the work shed and just bark orders. We had 25 guys on the site at a single time.
Wow.
I was 15, summer in high school, and I was digging ditches and humping lumber back then. I had minimal experience in the summers, but I was expected to be humping beams or whatever. So interesting.
What's humping beams?
Just transporting beams from the wood truck into the backyard, and I wasn't physically humping them. If that's what
No, I'm just in case listeners out there don't know.
Yeah.
Or just, people that are new to the business.
No, I understand.
Some people.
Sometimes I get lost in the terminology. All you laymen out there don't understand.
Hey, man, we're new to the business, so, I'm just trying to get up to speed with, it's what they call green out there in the field.
Oh, yeah. You and I are both pretty green when it comes to it. But what's interesting is you don't see a lot of young people in the trades. And if you do, they're kind of a one-trick pony. Maybe they're the plumber. You don't see. Maybe it's because that would be my competition, but I don't see a lot of guys at Home Depot our age in the game.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely seems like it's a craft that is disappearing. There's a lot of people that are just attracted to more digital stuff, and they don't realize that there's a lot of opportunities. But again, that's where it's also created a whole industry where this immigrant market is coming in and just dominating. there's so much, just immigrants from all over the world, right, that are coming in, that are doing a lot of the work physically, whether they're hired by other people and whatever's done. But it's like, especially once these people get good at it, and it's just because some people don't want to do the hard work, I guess, which, I guess
I'm looking at him.
Ivory
I'm
Tower
looking at
over
him.
here. I think for me though, it's being able to control everything. And I've also gotten to the point where I know that I can't do everything by myself, but I want to do such big stuff that I just know I can't do it by myself. And once you get over that fact, then you just start to adjust to trying to attract, people that are going to be able to help you in that same direction. Being able to attract legendary people if I want to be a legendary person one day, right?
Right. I mean, ultimately, my dad had the background, he had the knowledge, and he decided to step away because it'd be more beneficial for him, like from the actual swing and a hammer side. I mean, so he moved into, the project manager role and juggling all the balls in the air.
Well, I think you're more efficient
projects.
at something like that.
It's impossible to do it all by yourself.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
You can't wake up, go pick up the materials, drive to the job, put it together yourself, go home, get on QuickBooks, like run the billing, follow up on your leads, and like just this. Yeah. It's too much for one person to handle the building and the business side, and you have to choose.
You got to know your role. Back to what we were
path.
talking about. It's like, who do you want to be? Do you want to be the carpenter that's doing the sick trim work that you feel super happy at the end of the day, and that's your satisfaction, right? It's like the art of mastery. Again, not everybody's in it for money. There's a lot of different factors of what motivates people, and sometimes that art of mastering something is what some people are chasing. And you got carpenters out there that want to be, dude, some of the stuff on Instagram, the drywall work, dude, have you seen some of the gnarliest drywall work like in Dubai, and like some of the craziest where they just got like tri-level, like different angles and curves, and it's just like, damn,
it's crazy. I really wish I had this Instagram profile that I could share with you. This guy's like only 25 years old. He's one of the most badass Finnish carpenters you're ever going to see on the internet. He's got like 200,000 followers as a Finnish carpenter. I don't even know how to search for him, but I'll find that and I'll post it. He's a freaking star. Every miter and every joint is like, you don't even need to put any putty in there. It's perfect. Just
he glues them all.
I'm sure he
does. He's just fucking perfect. TRG Home Concepts, is that the?
No, this is something by _by Mar, a carpentry by Mar maybe. Anyway, really, really good follow if you're into that kind of stuff.
Nice. Yeah, no, I think what we were talking about though initially was the sales stuff of all of this, right? Right. So what's your shtick? How you getting leads? How are you? Well, I think overall, right, it's trying to figure out how to create a clean transaction. That's what I've always thought. Is how do you create a really black and white process that a customer is exchanging their money for? Because at the end of the day, the value that we put into our work and our quality and everything, allows us to charge what we charge because they know that they're getting a certain type of product.
Right. I mean, that's what separates the cheap guys from the expensive guys. Ultimately, you're doing the same thing, but maybe the guy's not licensed. Maybe
it's just riskier.
Yeah, it's way riskier.
And when you're putting your house, which is most people's largest
investment,
asset, they're oh, come on, whose hands are you going to put that in? But yeah, in reality, I mean, construction. The end product, I think, can be a lot more polished by a professional guy. It just looks way better. It all comes together. But I think it also has a lot to do with having a good architect, having a good designer.
I think the designer might be the number one most important thing that might be overlooked.
You're the boss's son out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, anytime a sub comes on, not so much with our crew currently, but there's been a few guys that like as soon as a new guy comes on, hey, careful, the boss's son is over there. Like they just give a warning call.
You know, I got the boss's dad's over there.
Yeah,
that's
I know.
That's a dynamic. But it's chill. It's chill. You know, at the end of the day, you get in where you fit in. I always tell people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm whatever. I can take it on the chin. I'm not scared of being the boss's son. It is what it is. Just do your shit right, and nothing will happen. You know,
for sure.
Whatever. If that makes the job run smoother because people are scared who's watching. You know what I'm really surprised at is how many people do dumb shit right in front of me. Like, of course that's gonna be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Of course it's gonna be reported. Like,
oh my
you know what I mean? Like, let's.
That's so funny.
Come on, man. Like, just if you're gonna do that, just don't do it in front of me. You know?
That's funny.
But anyway, I saw you taping on the Instagram. Taping your drywall. Was that today or yesterday?
Yeah,
Not
my
you.
tapers were
The
there.
Tapers were there, yeah.
Yeah, man. Those guys are awesome. These it's mom, or I mean not a mom. It's dad and son. They got like 4 guys. They're union guys. But they'll come out and, you know, sometimes do some work where they can just, you know, throw up, you know, a whole house worth of drywall in like a week and just finish it and get it all set up. But yeah, they're solid, man. They come out in numbers and they just handle it. So it's cool.
We've got 2 jobs that we're taping right now.
Yeah.
We're kind of in the same spot.
Oh, nice. Okay.
How big of a job are you doing?
It's just a remodel. How many sheets?
Yeah. Or I mean, you're remodeling how big of a house?
Oh, the size of the house is like 1,800 square feet. And I think we're remodeling about 900 square feet of it, plus the bathrooms. We're really not doing anything to the bedrooms, but we ended up changing closets, so it's getting pretty close. There's going to be a situation. Well, the client said that she'll paint her own bedrooms at the end of the day because the budget is just like at the max. So, yeah, I mean, I try to do what I can to help in a sense where I can squeeze more things, but there's only so much you can do. But overall,
so when you go to a sales appointment and you give them that initial bid and maybe it's outside of their expectation or comfort zone in their, let's just say they don't have experience in the field, so they don't have zero idea of what something might cost. Why are things so expensive? What's your rebuttal to that? Like, how could it be that much? I remember thinking that, like, as soon as I was like hearing the numbers of what's going on, like, oh, a bathroom's going to be $40,000. I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Yeah. I think it's trying to figure out where all your costs are. You have material costs, you have raw material costs, and that's obviously a certain X amount of number. I mean, depending on what you're doing, you know, you have a certain baseline. And then from there, the finished material also turns into a big thing. That's where, depending on how you approach it, right? You tell a client, hey, we're only going to do, let's say it's a bathroom. You can spend $10,000 in fixtures when it's all said and done, like between plumbing fixtures. Let's say it's a master bath. You got 2 vanities, you got a shower, you got a separate tub, you got a toilet. And usually masters are larger, so you have more square footage of tile and paint and just surfaces all together. On top of that, then you got to figure out if you have more quality work you're putting in, then naturally you have more expensive labor that is out there. And what drives the labor cost up, which is what's happening right now, is the demand is so high. You start getting in a situation where you have ABC cabinetry and XYZ countertop guys that do the best work, and now they're in higher demand, where they're getting in a situation where either they're having to almost kind of eliminate some of the lower end jobs by taking on more of the higher end jobs.
That's RJ Murphy
to keep it going
to a T. He just, anytime RJ gets approached from somebody outside of his zip code, it just says probably not going to work out.
Yeah.
It just, he isolates a certain area and he goes with it. And that's all because of supply and demand. He doesn't need to go do the remodel that the guy is pinching pennies to get his $40,000 out, or he could go up class and where, if it goes over budget $5,000 because they change their fixtures or whatever, it's not going to break their bank, and that's a huge advantage when it comes to negotiating these.
Right.
Because you can really pitch your value. If you pitch value to a guy that doesn't have the money, he just physically can't go over budget for whatever his little heart desires.
Yeah,
that's going to be a different contract negotiation than somebody who is a millionaire.
Yeah. No. So actually, I totally forgot to bring this up, but so I'm getting into doing my first flip. That
you're gonna flip?
I'm flipping a house. Yeah.
Really?
Me and a buddy. He's a realtor, so he's listing the house. We got the property already, and we're hoping that the existing tenant of the owner is able to relocate. We even gave him some cash incentives to help him relocate. The game plan is we're going to fucking put a 450 square foot addition on this thing and remodel it in 2 months and get this thing on the market and try to get rid of it in 4, essentially a 4-month turnaround. And I think it's huge in the sense that, like we were talking about in the first episode, as far as the real estate empire of like trying to really push this in a certain direction, because I mean, the way RJ's model is set up is great as far as, having that cush little spot where he's able to, and he's set up, man. Obviously, he's milked the thing for 30 years, and I'm sure he could, milk it for at least this run that we have in this boom.
Right.
But at the end of the day, what makes the whole process hard is dealing with consumers, in a sense that you're leading someone down a process of something that they have zero knowledge, experience, expectation, anything for it, right? So they're learning how to walk, in essence. It takes you weeks, months, I'm sure, to learn how to walk, right? But here you're putting them through a construction process that makes it really tough. And to deal with consumers, you have to have, a super like bulletproof process that is simple enough that they can follow along with, and that's also, positioned in a way where you're not exposing yourself too much, because on jobs with consumers, man, you can end up eating costs left and right, depending on how the contract's set up. There's 2 types of contracts. You got a fixed price contract and you have cost plus type contracts. Because of my lack of experience and knowledge and everything, I mean, it was hard for me to do cost plus contracts because I guess I never really knew how to pitch it.
Well, to me that confuses me, and I want to get back to your flip details. Hold on, we need to run back there, but real quick, cost plus when you're inexperienced seems to be the better alternative, because you can't miss, you can't lose. The
thing is sometimes it's hard to even get the business when you're showing that as your front card.
You really think so?
I mean, I don't know. I think maybe because of the lack of knowledge or lack of confidence.
To me, that makes so much sense to both parties. You get receipts of everything if you're the homeowner, so you know exactly what it costs, and then there's a tariff on top just to manage the project. What I don't understand is how you're comfortable with some guy throwing a number out there who obviously has to add incentive for him to
take the risk.
100%,
dude. 100%.
You can't have risk without reward, and so you're ultimately probably playing more if you don't do the cost plus model. But people run away from it more than I can imagine.
I think because at the end of the day, what consumers want to buy is clarity.
Yeah, and they've heard contractor nightmares of things going haywire, and I mean, I guess I'm answering my own question, but that if I have a fixed price contract, I am going to be out $50,000 and not a penny more. Whereas cost plus, it could, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Right?
You're exposed. You're vulnerable.
That's where you have to really trust the guy that you're hiring.
Exactly. And that's where, I mean, sometimes it's tough. So yeah, you're gambling a lot your first year in business. You're even sometimes your first few years in business.
Yeah, you're getting me all excited, dude. I want to go into that too. But let's go back to your flip. What city is this in?
Long Beach.
Long Beach?
Yes.
Why Long Beach?
Because I'm going to spew some gold right now.
Okay.
So the city of Long Beach's building department, they have type 5 construction stipulation set up where if you propose to build an addition onto a house that's less than 500 square feet, they'll give you over the counter permit for it. So there's zero plan check time, which is huge in the flipping business because you want to,
the quicker you can get in and out is
the quicker better. You can unload the property, the better. So in addition building, you are in a position where you can add a ton of value to real estate here in this area right now by adding square footage. Huge amount of value. The thing is obviously you can't, no one can just build an addition, unless you either know who people can do it or you can do it yourself, IT or the G. Now, at the end of the day, you want to try to get some sort of design submitted to the city to be able to get it approved so you can get a permit and start doing construction. So the quicker you can get through the city, which in some cities can take up to 6 months.
Yeah.
So it's crazy, right? So Long Beach has a gold mine of real estate that can be added onto in a really quick time frame. And obviously if you have a really efficient builder that can come in and do great work at a low cost, and more importantly, double what you're going to pay for the work to be done. I mean, dude, it's great opportunity.
So you can deflect if I'm getting too personal here.
No.
How do the finances work? You put up the cash, he put up the cash, or you split
We
it right
both
down the
put
middle?
up zero cash. It's a hard money loan.
I don't know what that means, I guess.
Yeah, so there's lenders out there that will essentially lend you $800,000.
Right. And
they'll buy the house for you, give you the house.
At the end of 30 days, they balloon your interest rate. Is that how they make
Well,
money?
what they do is they're just hitting you for a high interest rate for those months. And the longer you have the loan.
How high is high?
Probably like 15 to 25%.
Slam that shit on your credit card,
Yeah.
bro. Same thing.
But 800 grand, I don't have.
How does the Grunt have a higher limit than you? I'm a million, buddy. I'm just fucking with you.
No, but as far as that, yeah, dude, it's
okay.
It's all about wanting it, dude. If there's a will, there's a way, like they say, dude. There's money out there that you can get. You're paying a price for it, but what are you making off of it? And if you can make that substantial difference, dude, that's why if you position yourself in something like construction and real estate in a fucking area that is worth thousands of dollars per square foot in some fucking areas.
So,
I mean,
hold on. You're paying 15%. What kind of return do you think you estimate you can retrieve at the end of 4 months?
As far as the calculations, so
just as far as if you hit a home run and you got everything that you could possibly get, how much are you standing to make on a 4-month flip?
This job should probably, from the purchase to the sale, should probably be a difference of like $300,000.
$300,000.
Yeah. But now you have construction costs, closing costs.
Okay. I thought.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't know you. I thought there was.
But here's the thing: is when you know the chef that knows how to make the bread can be done at a low cost to make that still a good chunk.
Yeah, that's great. Unbelievable.
Yeah, man, it's pretty incredible in the sense that I've always put it out there, man, and I just have always knew that was going to be a direction I wanted to take my construction business, is being able to acquire properties, rehab them, or even develop onto them and be able to really increase the value. But I think the number one thing that really motivates me and it really gives me this passion to make connect all these dots is putting good properties on the market, dude. Because I've met so many people that have bought flips that look like shit, that are fucking the worst, like craftsmanship. You got covered up. Dude, I had a client just recently, we did a project for him, and it was an addition, but we ended up replacing the floors throughout the house because he just wanted to update them. And when we pulled up the laminate that he had, there was 4 gnarly cracks going throughout the entire foundation of this thing, dude. We were like, oh my God, dude. And it was crazy because they had just bought the house like a year before, and it was just like, dude, they just slapped something over this. Luckily, I got a really good foundation guy that can come out, do a little void fill and do some galvanized staples and epoxy the cracks and make them solid, at a low cost. So, it wasn't heavy damage, but it's crazy, dude, that like, that's so irresponsible to do, man. And so,
yeah.
So I think what I'm trying to do is just have people pay the hundreds of thousands of dollars that they're going to be spending anyways on properties out there, but actually get good houses that are designed well, that have a good flow, dude. This addition project, dude, the other day, it was like I was up till 1 a.m. and I put the whole the design together just based off of my graph item sketch that or on some graph paper sketch that I did over at the job site while we were measuring with the architect. Because right after we signed the contract to get the approved offer, we made another appointment to get the architect and the realtor over there to open the house, dude, and we started plans immediately, even before everything closed. So we're able to essentially get a ball ahead of the game. Right. So right when we get the keys, dude, we're fucking starting demo, which is June 1st.
Right.
Dude, right around the corner, dude. Like it's game time, dude. It's a 100% game time.
That's so cool, man. I really have been looking into getting into multifamily units, and in particularly trying to flip one because I know that they're so high commodity.
So, yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just the dirt here is worth, like, whether it's multi-unit dirt or single-family dirt or whatever it is, like the real estate, that lot, the location.
If you had to guess, what's a fourplex go for? The cheapest one in Orange County.
In Orange County?
Yep.
A fourplex?
Yep.
Built
in 1948. Yep.
Right now?
Right now.
2 mil?
1 mil.
1 mil?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Not so bad.
There was fourplexes in Huntington. I guess you're saying all of Orange County, or what are you talking, like Santa Ana or something?
No, I put my my center of search into Westminster and surrounding cities. So that includes Huntington, Costa Mesa, Santa Ana, Stanton, Anaheim.
Across the street from the Bellaterra, kind of where it was the later part of when I was growing up, when I lived, there was that fourplex, some apartments. And yeah, I remember one of them came up for sale at one point. I went over there. I was like 15 years old. I was like, oh, how much these things go for, dude? Because even back then I knew I wanted to dabble into something. And it was 1.2, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I know that thing for sure is going to at least 2.
Yeah.
I mean
that's prime real estate now,
dude. Right now, especially in front of the Bellaterra, but it's right by the freeway, so it's a good location.
Great location. Man, I'm excited to hear you're in the flip game.
Yeah, man. So
flip or flop. One keynote.
Exactly. Well, so here's the funny thing, right? Is I was thinking, so what if for some reason, like, this house doesn't fly off the market? What if I bought the fucking house and just fucking lived in it for a year and a half, still made money on it, and then resold it? Because honestly, so it's in this part of Long Beach that's called the Wrigley District. It's not the nicest part of Long Beach, but it's in an area, because I think overall all of Long Beach is going to start really growing, and you're going to see a lot of high density. I mean, it might turn into a pretty large city, over time. Everything is at this point in this fucking area. But yeah, so what if I just fucking bought my first house off myself as like a first-time home buyer, and just, dude, could that work?
Absolutely, that works. That's
right?
The beauty of the FHA loan,
dude. I haven't even looked into terms like that yet, but
you got to put 3.5% down.
Okay, so let's say
hypothetically
off 700,000.
700,000.
What's
10% would be 70 grand. Half of that, 5% would be 35 grand. Half of that, we're looking at somewhere in 18 grand range. You need 18,000 cash. Just
Out the door?
no, that's
No.
that's the down payment.
Yeah. Okay. So you already purchased a piece of property,
I got
so
a
you've
condo.
gone through this before.
I got a condo in
Right.
Orange County, which
Nice.
is hard to do. It might be in Stanton, but
Hey, bud, you got it, dude.
I
Congrats,
I
dude.
thank you, man. I tell everyone
Congrats.
right when you feel uncomfortable, you turn left, and that's when you're at my house.
Yes. Once it starts getting a little dark,
Yeah.
that's kind of how this part of Long Beach probably
That's
is.
the only way to get your foot in the door.
But
man.
dude, right?
it's the only way.
So you're telling me for less than a Honda Civic, I can get?
You get your foot in the door in Los Angeles property, LA County.
It's not
right?
Orange County, right?
Isn't it LA
Yeah,
County?
It's LA
Yeah.
Long Beach, yeah.
That's all right.
But dude, I mean, it's
Same shit, man.
especially if we do this thing up like I know we're gonna do, man. We got some sick plans for this thing, man. My whole idea is to eventually get to a point, right, where Keynote Homes, hashtag Keynote Homes, look us up on Instagram. Just kidding. But if I want you guys to be able to follow this whole design process and the whole construction and through open house phase and close, dude. I want to be able to get some pretty good footage of some stuff. So it's even something that future buyer is going to be able to use, or keep to know, like, dude, this thing went through a pretty cool transformation from what it was. And I'm glad we bought it off this, team. Because once we get to that reputation where they're like, oh, dude, when's your next deal coming up? I got a buyer for you that's looking for like quality, at a good price point out there in the area. And the next thing you know, it's like, dude, when's the next one? When's the next one? Now you got a demand going.
Right.
And next thing you know, you're able to move a couple where you can start doing something in Corona Del Mar. I saw a Corona Del Mar property that was on the same street of a $6.2 million house. This other house was an old house on a bigger lot for $2 million. I was like, wow, look at that spread right there, dude.
Right.
Like,
you got how much? You got $4 million to play with. How can you do?
right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's like, geez. But, it's a matter of just having that cash flow or that capital. And I think, just trying to build it up. But this is number one, flip number one. So it's going to be a pretty interesting process, dude. I've never done it before, but I've done the construction, hundreds of times, not hundreds, probably 100 at least. I've done at least 100 jobs in my run.
Yeah.
I would say. No, dude, I would say more than that. I think by just under Keynote, we already have had like 50 clients in 18 months.
Wow. Hey, you guys are really churning out business, man.
Dude, we were 30K shy of $1 million last year for the first year.
That's really gangster for your first year in
969.
business. That's really, really, really good.
Yeah. I mean, you spend almost all of it because you're just going through so many ups and downs throughout the process, but it's crazy, dude. I was just like, dang, I can't believe $1 million worth of people trusted me with their house.
Yeah.
To do stuff, and
that's great,
it's
man.
awesome, man.
I'm telling you, it's all coming out good, and you got the first year is the hardest one, man. You got.
Well, I spent everything because,
because
dude, what happens is the way I looked at it, I was like, dude, I got to maintain my reputation and I got to do sick work. So I'm gonna sell and try to sell and push for those good budgets to do good work, right? Just like RJ's motto, right? You go into a job where it's like, hey, people are throwing out numbers at 200K and you're like, hey, it's 400. They're like, whoa, what? But I think if you would have got in there first, it might have probably changed the dynamic. Or I don't know. Maybe that client. Obviously, I don't. But
here's the thing. So they were pretty young, like 40 maybe. So $400,000 to a 40-year-old. That's a big, even if you're successful, that's a big chunk.
Yeah.
Like 40, you're probably not like rolling in it yet. You might have like really got your foothold in, and 200 you could swing, but 400,000.
Well, sometimes they're financing it though. I mean, what's the best way to go about it? I truly think it's just, especially if they've paid the house down over a certain amount and the increase of the market has increased so much value, they can pull 200. Or they can pull 150 and throw in 50 of their own. And
You want to hear my pitch as to how I got my foot in real estate with $0?
How?
It's funny is I clicked on one of those like clickbait things one time on YouTube, like, hey, how to get into real estate with none of your own money. And I was like,
No.
and the guy, he's got a chalkboard and he basically says, hey, you just go find an investor. It's that easy. And
Yeah,
I was
dude.
like, oh, okay.
God,
So, oh man, I was like,
so once you clicked it, just a little video came up.
yeah, and it was some clown that basically told you what you already knew. Like, if you don't have any money, you just go ask somebody else for it. And then I was like, oh,
Well, I think that
makes a lot of
that's
sense.
how Keynote was started, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day,
When you don't have money, you got to get in the game somehow. So
you got to have enough balls to ask for it.
Here's the other turning point in my real estate career. I was getting my carpets cleaned at my bachelor pad, which we called the stabbing cabin.
That's not gonna go over that easy.
Oh man. So anyway, the carpets were filthy at this place. A few dudes living in there for a couple of years will do that. And so I got the carpet clean. The carpet cleaner doubled as a real estate agent, and he goes, "Oh man, you've been thinking about buying lately?" Like, I'm like, "Oh, I don't have the money, dude. Like, I'm good. But if you could clean my carpets, that'd be great." And he's like, "Oh man, all you need is 3.5% down." And that was the first time I'd ever heard that number.
Oh,
I'd heard of FHA, and I didn't know what it meant. I didn't know what the numbers added up to. But then I started looking online. Okay, how much is a condo in Orange County? We're looking at 350,000, right in the ballpark there. What's 3.5% of that? For me, it turned out to be like $13,000. So my pitch, I went to the business owner, I went to RJ, and I said, "Here's the deal, man. I can't pay Ahmed $1,500 rent anymore." That was my landlord over there at Huntington Beach. I'm just pissing away money. I got to get my foot in the game. I go, I need $13,000. I'm gonna buy the shittiest condo I can find. Yes. I'm gonna live in it. I'm gonna rent it out because I'm the tenant, and I'm gonna fix it up. And we're gonna sell this thing in the next couple of years, whatever you want. I go, the deal is you get your money back first. That's the first payment, and we split the profits. So he gets an investment in it. He doesn't have that much risk because it's Orange County real estate, and it's always gonna hold its value. And he doesn't have to worry about renting out to people or anything like that because I'm the guy. I'm the knowledgeable one that can do the work for free. I can live there. I can pay rent, and we can both get a little skin in the game. Yeah. So then the goal is to parlay that into a multifamily, and let's do it again. And then let's
there's actually right up here on Delaware. There's I think it's like a fourplex, but it's pretty good size. I haven't looked at the amount of it yet, but the multifamily unit game is yeah, I mean, it's definitely good because you have multi-units on one property.
Well, the greatest part
about maintenance is the tough part.
Maintenance is hard, but
dealing with tenants.
That's with any rental property. The best part about multifamily is that when the economy goes down, rentals go up. So if you have a rental property that is a mansion somewhere in a beach town,
right? When
shit hits the fan and everyone tightens up their pocketbooks, that's the one that's not going to get rented, not the cheaper fourplex unit that you're sharing a wall with somebody, because somebody is always going to have to rent.
Right.
When they lose their house, they're going to have to go rent.
Yeah.
So to me, being in where the rentals are hot and up or down, that seems to be the place.
Definitely. And I think once you get your foot in the game with a condo, then you're just 1031 exchanging your way up into some bigger and bigger,
It's deferred tax plan all the way up.
Unless you stay in the property for 2 years, is it? Or a year and a half?
I don't know.
If you don't sell it within 2 years, then it's tax free. So that's what I was thinking. I was like, dang, if I buy this flip and even just hold on to it over 2 years, that thing's going to be worth even more in 2 years because of that area that's going to be really coming up. So if I only need 3.5% down, then I like this location though, as far as this rental. We're close to the beach, but pissing it. But it's also company location in the sense that it's company expense where I'm not having to pay rent. But I am technically because I signed all the checks.
Right.
So,
Yeah, paying rent. That'll eat your pocketbook alive, man.
Yeah.
It really does.
But I think from a business standpoint, you're renting space anyway sometimes, right? Not necessarily. You guys don't have any. You guys have a shop? Or
We have a little tiny warehouse that, I don't know, might be 100 square feet. We pay, it might be a couple
it's
hundred.
10 by 10?
Just a little. It's 10 by 20. I guess 200 square feet, 10 by 20. They pay like $500 a month.
Whereabouts?
Like
the
Huntington
yards?
Beach over by Boeing over there.
Oh, okay. Actually, I have a friend that's over there off of Bolsa Chica, kind of by, Bolsa Chica and Bolsa.
That's right where it's at.
Yeah. Oh, I think is it in the Bolsa Business Park?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think my buddy Brandon, ID Supply.
Supply.
He's got a shop there. You know what I think?
My mom's got a shop in there too.
Oh yeah, exactly. I think we've talked about this before.
I don't think so.
Well,
not on air anyway.
yeah. But I think where were we? With sales. Going back to the sales and just I don't know.
That was a great exhale by you. Just absolutely forgetting where you were. Yeah, interweaving the sales back into this thing. Ultimately, sales is the reason that I could even concoct a pitch to get my foot in the real estate game, right?
Right.
Like if I had never had a sales background, I wouldn't have known how to approach any investor and gotten in the real estate game.
Yeah.
And it all goes back to slinging nails in Vegas or
Oh my
you know
gosh.
what I mean? Like,
yeah, well, you went to school for learning how to do sales, right? I mean,
no, I went to Cal State Fullerton. And
you took a sales class there, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I took professional selling 101, but you don't learn anything doing that. Spend one day in the field and you learn.
In
a lot
marketing
more.
too, right? That was your.
I did advertising.
Oh yeah,
it was
advertising.
more like the artistic side, which is funny because I'm not really that artistic. I would have done marketing.
What was Dave doing? You guys went to school
I don't know
together,
what
right?
Yeah, we did. I don't know if he ended up doing PR or children's television or something. Like,
weren't you guys both doing advertising stuff though?
But did he do advertising? He must have. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were both communications
You guys were
majors.
both our interns at
I know.
Tip Jar.
We were
That's
both,
how you guys came in. At
I
least.
know. The free
6-month
internship turned into
internship.
free working. That's good, man. I like chasing the dream. It's all good. I catch a lot of
love it,
shit
dude.
for that.
Dude, honestly, I had a friend who, oh man, and I remember to this day. He was like, dude, because I used to always try to take those jobs that had that high risk,
Me too.
high reward.
Yep.
And it just, a lot of times, and one of my buddies just like, when we first got into the construction business and we're barely getting going, he's like, oh, dude, he's just doing another CERTA job, like dead end job that ain't going to do shit. I'm like, oh, dude, just wait.
Yeah. My best friend, when I was going into door-to-door sales, he told me not to sell my soul to the devil.
Oh my gosh.
And he just doesn't get it. He doesn't understand he doesn't understand it. He doesn't want to understand it, doesn't understand it. It's about making freedom for your own life moving forward and having control of your own destiny.
Well, it's the power of choice. That's what I always really think about is I want to be able to choose where I live. I want to be able to choose what kind of car I drive. I want to be able to choose what school my kids go to, all of that stuff. And sometimes, and a lot of what I, growing up, it was just like we had to deal with what we had. But even then, dude, my parents still made it happen. I still played sports like every year, and playing football at Marina High School wasn't cheap.
No. You better be slinging candy bars in between periods, buddy.
Better be fucking showing up to bingo every Saturday and working those hours, sister. Oh man, that's great.
That is good. Well, man, we've done another hour. This is our second hour.
Oh wow.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're getting there. It's still a work in progress. I think if we just get some feedback from more of our listeners.
We had a lot of really good feedback last week. I had 4 or 5 people tell me they really enjoyed it. Which is, how many people even listen to this thing at first? I don't know. 5 for me alone. Right. How many do you?
I sent it to like a couple of buddies. I probably sent it to like 10 people, but then we posted it on the social media.
I know you dropped
and
it
I
on
knew
me.
I had to. I was like, hey, I'm gonna launch this bitch into the fucking orbit right now.
I woke
You
up
ready?
and I was like, oh wait, you said you were gonna do it, but I didn't see anything like happen. And then I was like, I got online in the morning. I'm like, oh, it's been up.
Here we go.
It's good though, man. You just gotta jump. You
Dude.
just gotta jump.
That's what it's all about. And then after that, you just have to stay consistent.
I was gonna use that exact word. Consistency is the whole thing.
Yeah. No, I think we're following it up, dude. We got some new equipment. We're pretty
doing
set
it,
up
man.
right now,
I
man.
know we are. I feel like we're in a real studio.
Right? I mean, we got some acoustics up on the wall, aka the nice fleece throw blanket.
Yeah, the echo's down this week on my audio monitoring.
That's good. That's good.
Anyway, man, I don't know. I foresee this thing being a weekly recap of our progress at our jobs, kind of get a taste for what each role brings to the week.
Yeah, definitely.
And, just talking like we are, just about real estate and remodeling and everything in between.
Right. And I think it's just, I want to be able to document my process through all of this, obviously being able to start touching on this flipping side of the business, being able to actually be the decision maker in a sense of like, hey, this is what we're doing. Now I don't have a client that I have to satisfy. I just have to make sure that we have everything in line. So it's going to be different for me in a sense that it's just a different dynamic. But no, man, I'm excited. This is going to be a good way for me to just put out any thoughts or ideas or just little roadblocks I'm coming across, because construction, we always hit them.
Yeah, vice versa, man. It's all about finding solutions, because there's going to be a problem every week. It just is what it is. It's the nature of the beast. You never know what's around the next corner, and even if you do it for 20 years, you still get surprised. So it's finding solutions and being the guy that can own it. And
what I would also hopefully try to start pushing within these next couple of episodes is getting some guests on here so we could get a just different perspective
100%
from people, and hopefully get some more expert people that can teach us things that can make us better at what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, whether it's out in the field or from the design standpoint. I got an architect who actually I would love to be able to bring onto the podcast one day, that she's actually she's a really good architect, and she's really knowledgeable, and she's really funny. She's got a good personality, which I think would be pretty cool to have on one day.
Yeah, I'm into it, man. I think the more designers we can get on, the more I'd be stoked. I like that aspect of it. I like hearing why you do things and the vision behind and what inspires you when you walk into a room to, kind of transform a project.
The crazy thing is the design aspect is like, you almost have to decide on that first and then reverse engineer the whole process. Right. To be able to construct it from that point back. It's crazy, man. I keep learning stuff every day, man. I got a job right now with a friend of mine who we're going to do a hardscape for. And, I haven't done a lot of like extensive hardscaping. I was like, dude, if you can give me this kind of budget, dude, we could do some really, really dope stuff, man. And he was able to work some magic where he's given me a good budget to where, we're bringing in some quality pros and we're going to do it right, but it's going to look sick, man. It's going to be like a modern style, really big front yard with a big horizontal gate. And that's one of the jobs that we're hoping to kick off here early June. And dude, it's going to be fire, man. We're hoping that it'll be done by 4th of July. So you can throw a little 4th of July party and break it in. So we're
ambitious. I like it, man. I like it.
Totally. I mean, right now I only got one job going on. So my max is like 5, because at that point, I can manage it easily, but I'm not stressed or like, falling or lagging on people. Yeah, exactly. I got to a point one time when I had, I think it was 8 jobs going on at one time, dude. It was crazy.
That's a lot.
It was crazy. No, and it was when I was working for the company where I first started, dude, where the owner was super aggressive, dude. He wanted us selling jobs as far north as like Oxnard, dude, to like Palmdale, to Rancho Cucamonga, to Dana Point and all the way in between, dude. It was insane, dude. Like, I put on every day at least like 100 miles on my car, dude. Like, no, more than that, dude. Like 150. It was insane, man. There'd be some days where I'd have to drive. And like, I just had to set up my route. I'm like, all right, I'm going to fucking drive to Dana Point at 5 a.m., go there, go to Lake Forest, go to Irvine, hit Tustin, hit Santa Ana, go to Whittier, hit Culver City, and then be back in the valley.
Oh, man.
Dude, the traffic, man, dude, I put a lot of work in, man. It was nuts, dude. And the mental grind of it all is just like...
Did you fall asleep at the wheel? Or doze off?
No, man, dude, the craziest thing that I just even realize like how is I would be on my phone like the entire time in traffic and just, you know, scrolling through Instagram or you're emailing or texting or whatever it was, but you just don't realize like you're driving because it's bumper to bumper, or you're just like, you know, kind of, and it was just like, sometimes I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I'm already here. Like, I don't even remember looking up a lot of the time, dude. And that's where, you know, I got to a point where I had a bunch of jobs going, dude. I had to hire a friend of mine to drive for me because I was like, dude, I'm going to kill myself. And, you know, his buddy Brian Ties, dude, he helped me out while I fucking turned out, you know, and completed, you know, that batch of work, dude. But it was crazy. I was like, damn, dude, I'm going to kill myself. And because everything's done via phone, and that's like my role is the communicator, I got to be in communication with everybody. And during the day when you got that many jobs going, man, it's nuts.
It is nuts. I mean,
it affects the relationship with like the girlfriend, like everything. Shout out to the girlfriends for definitely hanging in there while we're putting in these long night hours here for our passionate podcast experience.
Oh man, I like that passionate pod.
Yeah.
Oh man, we're both very lucky. We have very supportive girlfriends.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, Alex.
Episode 2.
Hey, I like that you take action. I like that you do what you say and do what you want, and I'm excited to move this thing moving forward. Shout
out to everybody out there that listened to our first episode, and keep following along.
We're going to get better. We're going to get smoother. For now, this is Ivory Tower and the Grunt.